Hey everybody, I think I started this okay. Let me just doubly check here. I sure did. Well, I just want to welcome you to summer school, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself, and then we'll move on to frequently asked questions and other important things about this class. So first of all, I can't get the screen to advance. There you go. My name is Beth Secor, and I have been teaching college since 1998, and I started here at the University of Houston downtown in 2004, initially as an adjunct, and then in 2011 I became a full-time lecturer. And this is a picture of me taken back when you used to could go to restaurants and sit next to people and breathe on them. We can't do that anymore, but hopefully one day we'll be able to. Um, in addition to being an instructor, I'm also an artist. I've been an artist for years and years and years, probably since I was 2, when I first drew on my bedroom wall and then got punished by having my crayons taken away from me, which really made me extremely sad. And ever since then, I've been trying to compensate by buying as many art supplies as I possibly can. This is a big, giant painting of a bluebird, and it is gouache on paper. Gouache is a kind of watercolor. Most watercolor is meant to be transparent, but gouache is opaque. For a period of time, from about 2015 until really this past year, I've been painting birds, and I painted them because they reminded me of my mom. She had Alzheimer's, and the reason they reminded me of her is because of the way her ability to use words was fleeting. Like sometimes she could find the word, and then other times you could tell that she almost found the word or she was reaching for the word, but then the word would fly away. So it made me, the birds made me think of her in this way. So now let's get on to the course. Enough about me. So these are my goals for the semester, and these are my goals for you. Um, for those of you who are taking this course, this is you right here on the left, because you were told it's a requirement. I hope that as the course moves on, even though it's going to be really intense, I really hope that you're glad you made this decision. And for all of you, and this is all of you right here, these 2 dogs with hats on, I hope you gain a better understanding and appreciation, and actually a love for the visual arts. Like some of you may grudgingly start to love the arts, but I hope all of you love them, or at least don't hate them by the end of the semester. So how are you going to gain a better understanding / love of the visual arts? So in this course, you're going to learn the vocabulary that you need to knowledgeably speak and write about the visual arts. And then you're going to think about and learn and compare techniques and formal issues that an artist should reflect on when they're composing a work of art. You're going to study individual artists and art movements, and then you're going to create works of art. And then finally, how are you going to gain this better understanding or love of the visual arts? It's going to be through your hard work. If it's really important for you to make an A in this class, well, it's really important for you to put forth the effort that you're going to need to earn that A. And that's going to be through hard work and discipline. You need to read all the chapters and complete all the assignments in order to pass this class. And you must also complete the assignments by their required due dates, as late assignments aren't accept it. I don't want to scare you here. There's a lot of work in this class, but you're going to have to be dedicated to it. And if you stay on it and you keep up with it, it'll be manageable. So here's how you're going to get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me through Blackboard Message. That is my preferred method. Why is that my preferred method? Well, because there's a bunch of reasons, but one is because I check Blackboard more regularly than I do my email. I look at Blackboard during the week at least 2 or 3 times a day. And then on the weekends, I might look at it less frequently, but I check it at least once or twice a day on the weekend. So the other reason why I like to use Blackboard is because when you send stuff to my email, my ccorpb@uhd.edu, not only will I maybe not see it in time, but also I get so many emails through the UHD email system that that things kind of get lost in the mix. So if you're sending them to me through Blackboard Message, everything from this class is all contained in one convenient place. And I save all my Blackboard messages from you throughout the semester, and I check them frequently. Another reason why it's good to send me stuff through Blackboard is because when you send me files through through my email, then my email box gets filled, and then it might get so filled up that I can't access it. So just remember to send me stuff through Blackboard Message. Then my school phone number is 713-221-8616. Now, because of the coronavirus, I'm not often here in my office, but the messages show up in my emails if you send me a voicemail. So although I check them less frequently, I do check my email once a day, and I'll get your message and I'll return your call. My virtual office hours are going to be announced in the syllabus. I'm still working on that, and once I get that figured out, I'll include those in there. So here's some frequently asked questions, and then one question I forgot to put on here, but I'll make sure I address it before we're done today. So the first question a lot of people ask me is, do I need to buy a book? Do I need to drink some water? Yes, I just did. No, you do not need to buy a book. Why is that? Because I have placed all the chapters, all the reading assignments for this class are included in the Blackboard daily folders. How often should I open those daily folders? I strongly suggest opening them the day before they're assigned so that you budget enough time. Oh, look how I have a typo here. So you budget enough time to do the work. So if there's a folder for Monday, June, oops, we're in July. I forget what our first day is, 6th or 8th. You're going to look at it on Sunday. And then if there's a folder for Tuesday, you're going to look at it on Monday. So you know how much work you're going to have and how much time you're going to need. So when are the assignments due? The folders will advise you on due dates. So you look in the Monday folder, and usually in those folders, there's the chapter and there's the assessment for the chapters, and the assessments are always due by midnight the next day. And then there might be another assignment in that folder, like a discussion board or a paper. And if there's another kind of assignment, it's either going to be due the next day or it's going to have the due date for it, which might be in 2 days. Or if it's assigned on a Friday, it'll be due on Monday. So the best place to look for when your assignment is due is in those folders. And that's another good reason to look at them all the time. And then how often should you check Blackboard Message? Daily. Check it every single day, because I'll give you an example of why it's important to check it every single day. Now, all of my assignments, with the exception of a few of them, I ask you to submit things as Word documents. But then sometimes people submit them as ODTs or pages, or they send me a PDF, or they even send me web pages. And when I get those, I'll email you, I'll Blackboard message you and say, this is in the wrong format. Please send me this as a Word document. If you don't check your Blackboard message daily, you're not going to get that message in time. I have people that check it like once a week or once a month. That's not going to work. You got to check it daily to see if I sent you a message, like if there's some issue with your paper, or if I have a question about your work or otherwise. So just check it daily. Thank you very much. Okay, what happens if you turn in late work? It's not going to be accepted. So just bear that in mind. So that means you got to stay up with your work. Don't fall behind. It's going to be really hard to catch up. Don't turn in late work. You got to manage your time efficiently. I know stuff happens. I know people get sick, God forbid. Other things, other emergencies happen. And if you don't communicate with me and you don't tell me what's going on, then I'm just going to assume you blew off your work. So you got to communicate, and I really advise you to stay up on your work. Now the question is, where do I find my assignments? I know I'm going to be repeating myself some here, but all the assignments can be found in the dated folders posted on our Blackboard page. Rely on those folders. Don't rely on the syllabus, because the syllabus is tentative and subject to change. So the folders are the most reliable source to find out what your assignments are. I have another typo. Oh my God, I'm going to give me an F on this PowerPoint. Okay, so it's time for a picture because you're sick of me talking. Here's a question. Can I work ahead? Yes, you can work ahead if you like, unless otherwise noted on a particular assignment or test. So for example, if we have a discussion board post and there you'll have an original post and then you'll have to respond to others. Well, if you work too far ahead on those, there's not going to be anybody to respond to, and then you might forget. So for those, it's best that you just kind of stick to the schedule. But anything else you want to do ahead of time that is permissible to do ahead of time, do it. Get way ahead. So this lady, she's like 2 days ahead on her work, so she's gonna party, but it looks like she's like not getting enough sleep and she's been drinking too much. So she really doesn't look like she's having a lot of fun. And that guy next to her, he looks like he drinks nonstop. So they need to stop it. Anyway, this course requires a lot of time and a lot of effort and work, but it's doable if you manage your time. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, right? Okay, so what kind of assignments are you going to have? There's reasonably short papers, about 500 to 1,250 words. 500 words is 1 page. These won't require very much outside research. Really, the only paper that's going to require any research, the research that you're going to are going to be a couple of films that I provide you with in the folder. And so it's not like you're going to have to go drive to a library that won't let you come inside because we have social distancing restrictions. Or you're not going to have to like Google something on Wikipedia that may or may not be correct. So all the information you're going to need is right there in your folders. There's going to be quizzes, which I call assessments, and tests. There's like only a couple of tests, but there's a lot of assessments. Each chapter or each part of a chapter has an assessment. The reason why you have to take these assessments is to kind of, you know, guarantee that you actually read the chapter and you thought about what was in it. There's going to be a few discussion forums. If I remember correctly, there's 3 discussion forums. There's going to be some hands-on art projects. Oh, look, here's another typo. Renaissance has an E on the end of it. These hand-on projects, they're not going to require that you be a master artist. The hand-on projects are, there's a watercolor project, there's a found object project where you're going to be making a sculpture out of things that you have in your house, and there's a photography assignment. It's a little more involved. It's gonna require you to apply knowledge that we learned during the semester. But as long as for the hands-on part of them, not the written part, but the hands-on part of them, you know, it's just like do your very best. And I'm not gonna say like, oh, technically this is incorrect. I'm gonna judge you on the effort that you put into it. And then there's going to be other exercises that will help further your ability to apply certain concepts. Such we're going to learn about the basic formal elements and the principles of design, and then look, I spelled that word wrong too. Principles. That's how the guy that or the woman that's at your school. The principles of design is PRINCIPLES. Good God, Miss Secor, get it together. So you're gonna have to like apply those. I have like I'm taking off 10 points on my assignment for typos. So then, by the way, I take off for typos. Okay, other important information. What do I have to do to get an F in this class? How many of you want an F? Raise your hand right now. Okay, so here's what you have to do. Don't keep up with the work. Don't take all the assessments. Don't write all the papers. Don't turn in all the assignments. Don't participate in all the discussion boards. Plagiarize. So, man, so like in this course, I have this one paper on the Zoot Suit riots, and I'm not asking you to do any research. So you have all the material supplied to you, and yet invariably somebody looks up what a Zoot Suit is, and then they copy and paste what it is into their paper, or they look up the Zoot Suit riots and like on some website, and then they cut and paste what they looked up, and then they don't give any indication of where it came from. They don't cite the source. They don't try to rewrite it in their own words and not cite the source. And I could find that, like, because everybody goes to the same place to get them. And I can tell if you plagiarize so easily. It's kind of like one of my guilty pleasures is finding plagiarism. So if you plagiarize in here, if you do it once, you get a big fat F on that paper. If you do it twice, or if you cheat and plagiarize or collude and cheat or any of these combinations, I will give you a big fat F for the semester. And this is in the syllabus. This is part of the school's policy on academic honesty. So don't plagiarize. Don't collude with another student on assignments. Now, what is collusion? That's where, well, I've had this happen like 4 times last semester, where one student did the work and then another student got in touch with them and said, can you help me? And then the other student sent them their answers, and then that second student didn't even bother to rewrite the answers. They just cut and pasted them into their assignment. And guess what? Not only did the student that cut and pasted the answers into their assignment get an F, but the student that sent them the answers got an F too. So don't do that. So don't cheat in any form or fashion. Here's another example. One semester, I had a student in my class. She was in my face-to-face class. And she made her found object sculpture, and she wrote her reflective paper on it. And then she did fine on that, but she flunked the course because of other things. Then she took summer school from me. And when we came to the found object sculpture, she just submitted the same work she had done the semester before. You can't do that. You can't submit work that you did the semester before. You can't submit work that you did for another class. You got to submit all new stuff. So if you submit old work, you're going to get a big fat F. So don't do that. And then the other thing is, I mentioned this before, but I like beating a dead horse, so I'm going to say it again. If you don't check your Blackboard message in a timely fashion, then you're going to miss important information, and you're probably going to get an F on something because you weren't paying attention. Okay, so how do you get an A or B in this course? You stay up with all the coursework. You be a careful reader. Most mistakes are made because they're not carefully reading the chapters and the assignments. Take your time. When you read, think about what you read. Think about what it means. Take notes while you're reading. Did you know that when you take notes, your brain forms muscle memory and you remember things better? So when you're reading assignment or instructions or a chapter, take notes. Write them out by hand. Don't take a photograph because that's not going to stick in your brain. So if you still have questions after you've read stuff and it's not making any sense to you, after you've listened to my audio PowerPoints, it still doesn't make sense, ask me. That's why I'm here. Like, you know, I had a learning disability when I was a kid, and I learned visually, but sometimes when teachers talked in class, I would or if I tried to read something and there weren't spaces between paragraphs, I would just get lost and not understand. So I understand that people have different ways of learning, and I want to help you, and I want to try to break it down in a way that's more understandable for your learning style. So then the next thing is, want to make an A or B in here, take pride in your work. Don't rush through things. I know we don't have a lot of time, but be careful, because when you rush through things, that's when you make mistakes, and that's when you have to do stuff over, or when you get a bad grade. So just take your time. Then, and be proud of what you're doing. Like, if you do crappy work, that's not a reflection on me. That's a reflection on you. And I want you to be proud of yourself. And I want you to do work that's reflective of how you view yourself and how you think about yourself. And then the next thing is, please proofread your papers. Don't be like me in this PowerPoint and I have like 9,000 mistakes and I'm gonna give myself a grade, and I'm not gonna get the best grade I could have because I screwed up and wasn't careful with my proofreading. So in addition to using spell checks, by the way, if you use spell check, there's a couple of things. One, it's not always right. It always says my last name is spelled wrong. And then if you use spell check, it changes Secor to Sector. So I know that's not right. So you got to use your brain when you're using spell check, because sometimes it'll tell you something's spelled wrong and it's not. So use spell check. If something is underlined, let me try to remember this. Something is underlined in red, I think that means it's misspelled. If it's, or it's maybe misspelled, or if it's underlined in blue, it might be like a spacing issue or grammatical issue or a punctuation issue. So in addition to using spell check, which is not always right, read what you've written out loud. That's what I should have done with this, but I didn't do it. That helps you find a lot of mistakes, because if when you read something out loud, if it's not written properly or it's not written like you would express it if you were talking to somebody, you'll notice it when you're reading it out loud, because it either won't make sense or it sounds convoluted, or you can tell if there's a word missing or whatever. And then once you do that, go through it again, like read over it with a fine-tooth comb another time, and then you'll catch most of your mistakes. Then turn your work in on time. And as I've said 13,000 times already in this PowerPoint, check Blackboard message daily. So then, guess what? It's time to get started. There is something I forgot to mention, and I'm going to mention it now. I said it kind of, but I want to say it again. When you turn in documents, the majority of the time that you turn in stuff to me, you're going to turn in as a Word document or Word docx, and you're going to turn it in as an attachment. You're not going to cut and paste it into the Blackboard message. It's going to be an attachment. So the majority of work, not all the work, but the majority of work that you submit is going to be a Word document attachment. When you do a discussion board, you're not going to submit work as an attachment. You're going to type directly into the discussion board. If you, some assignments, like there's a photography assignment, I'm going to ask you to submit it as a PowerPoint. But that's the other thing, you have to read the assignment to make sure you're submitting it in the right form. Then there's another thing, is that when you submit work to me, I want you to always save that file. When you're saving the file, so you name the file to include your first and last name and the name of the assignment. So like if I was gonna save a Word document and the homework was Zoot Suit Riots, then I would save the Word document as Beth Secor Zoot Suit Riots. Now on the assignments, I always tell you how to save your file, what to name it when you save it. And most people pay attention to that. But then there's always people that don't. And then I get a bunch of documents that are saved as art paper. Well, the reason why I have you put your name and the name of the assignment as the name of your saved file is for a couple of reasons. One, I know who sent it. Two, I know what assignment it is. If you save your assignment as art paper, then I might open it and know who it's from, but then when I'm saving it to put in my folder, in my archives, I might forget that it was you that sent it to me, and I might put somebody else's name on it, and then when I go to put the grade down, I give that person your grade. So you don't want that to happen. Anyway, enough about that. So we're going to move on. We're going to go to the day one folder, and then you're going to see what's in store for today. All right. Thank you. And please forgive all my millions of mistakes. And I promise this is the last time I'll be so careless when I put together a PowerPoint. Thank you.